If you watch Dead by Daylight content, then it's highly likely you've already come across a channel called Probzz. After exploding in popularity in the late 2020, early 21 period, Probzz became one of the most popular and well-known DBD content creators and arguably one of the most skilled survivors who is currently playing the game. He's amassed just under 160,000 followers on Twitch and over 283,000 followers on YouTube. And he started out 2022 with an average viewership of between 1,500 and 2,000 per stream. However, more recently, over the past few months, people have been more focusing on the ridiculous reasons that people are getting banned from his chat, as well as his absolutely absurd streaming schedule. And all of this has led to a lot of people expressing concerns for his well-being, which is what we're going to be talking about today in this video. Before we get started though, I do want to make it very clear that this video is not meant with any ill harm or intent towards Probzz himself. He's a creator whose content I do respect overall, and I wish him nothing but the best. Now, I actually heard about all of this stuff happening with Probzz a few months ago, when I started seeing people on Twitter posting stories about getting banned from his chat for saying that they were the killer in his match, even after the match had ended. If they went in and put GG, I was the killer, it would result in an immediate and permanent ban. And to be fair, I kind of just wrote this off as like a weird streaming choice. Maybe he just got tired of people saying that they were the killer, or of people attempting to stream snipe him or anything like that. And you know, it is his channel. He can run it how he wants. If he doesn't want people saying that kind of stuff in chat, then fair enough. That's just a boundary that he's setting. But since then, more and more information has been revealed and the story has expanded massively. So to begin with, let's go back to when this all seems to have started. Now, if we look at the statistics of his Twitch channel, we can see that there is a clear shift in his content that occurs between February and April of this year, 2022. Now, the first shift that occurs in his channel is that the amount of time he streams per day effectively doubles. He starts out at about 6 hours, and then in late March, early April, he is hitting about 12 hours per day, which then just increases further to what his current schedule is, which is about 16 or 17 hours all day, every day. And this started around May, June of this year. Another key shift is that he started to introduce Saturday streams to his schedule. Now, if you look in 2021, you can see that he streams 1 or 2 Saturdays per year, and they were normally for special events. But then come March or April of this year, Saturdays start to become a staple part of his streaming schedule, which effectively means that he does not have a single day off as of right now in his schedule. He streams from Monday to Sunday, with a couple of days off randomly thrown in here and there. Interestingly, this shift in his channel also coincided with a tweet that he himself put out on April 20th of this year, which read, "The past 2 months have been pure chaos, moved houses for the second time in the last 10 months, but still didn't miss a single day of streaming and still had a video up every week. Now time to grind even more than before for you guys." And the final key shift in his channel comes from his average viewer count. Now, in January of this year, he was hitting highs of about 1.8k average viewers in his streams. But over time, over this past year, this has steadily decreased to its current average of about 571. This is despite him streaming more hours overall and his follower count only increasing. As you can see from these two lines, the red and the blue one, both of those increase, while the green bars, which represent his average viewer count, decreases over time. Now, to be fair, the longer and more frequent streams aren't really a cause for concern. Lots of people do it. For example, XQC, one of the biggest streamers on the platform, if not the biggest streamer on the platform, regularly is known to stream for 16, 18, even 24 and 32-hour stints at a time. And maybe Probzz was just trying to capitalize off of that success that he was having at the end of last year and the beginning of this year. But it's not the only reason that people are worried for him. The first reason is the random banning that seems to be occurring that we mentioned earlier. Now, in September of this year, a Twitter account called Banned from Probzz was created, which contained seemingly hundreds of accounts of people who had been banned from Probz's chat for random reasons. For example, we have this person who simply said could have got calm spirit value and was timed out for just under 2 weeks. So not banned, to be fair. Then we've got this person who says, "Hi, do you like the new chapter?" and was permanently banned. And then you have this person who said, "Close game, pretty decent bubs," and was banned from the channel. A seemingly common thread of if anybody compliments the killer who manages to defeat Probzz in a game, you get banned for doing so. But one particularly worrying trend of this is what happens when people ask Probzz if he's okay. For example, there was this person who simply says, "Are you okay, Probzz?" and got banned from the chat. And this person isn't the only one. There have been multiple accounts of people just simply asking Probzz if he's alright, if he's good, if he's okay, and then getting banned from the chat permanently with no warning and no explanation given as to why. And it's also worth noting at this point that multiple people have actually theorized that Probzz doesn't actually have any mods to help him out, that all of the bans are coming directly from him himself. One source of this that I found came from a YouTube channel called TrailinDBD in a video entitled "So What Is Going On with Probzz," which I will leave a link for in the description if you want to check out. And basically during this video, Trailin had a conversation with somebody who was a longtime viewer of Probz's chat and asked them, do you think Probzz has any mods? To which this was their response.
Stream quality on Lang. The truth is, he doesn't have much, LOL. He has a second device, laptop I think, and he just quickly scrolls in timeouts or bans. Also definitely has like a stream deck to help him, and other shortcuts.
Now if this is true, and again we have no real way of knowing this, then that means that this guy is streaming for 17 hours a day, every day, and doing everything himself with no external help whatsoever. Which is definitely a cause for concern in my opinion. But why are so many people asking if he's okay in the first place? Well, that leads us on to our second cause for concern, which comes from multiple clips that have been taken from his stream that show him acting a little bit strange. For example, multiple people have caught him just simply going AFK at random intervals, such as this one here. He starts healing with his teammate, and then just suddenly stops, doesn't participate in the David heal, and doesn't do anything else either. Just kind of stands there. But there are also other clips that people have pointed to that raise alarm bells to a larger degree, such as this one. Now this occurs right at the start of the match. Probzz has just loaded in, and this is what happens.
Let's go. Corrupt, huh? Okay. Interesting. Oh yeah.
Basically, it just seems like he regularly spaces out. You know, he starts running into walls. He starts saying random words, which he often slurs as well. And this has led a lot of people to worry that he's just overworking himself and not actually giving himself enough time to rest, which can often lead to him seemingly passing out midstream. There are multiple clips which you can find online of him just going AFK for like 30 to 40 minutes and then coming back with no explanation as to why this was, no apology, and no acknowledgement of it whatsoever. Which, to be fair, if we go back to how much he has actually streamed in the past month, it's not that hard to believe. Over the past month, he has streamed so far 451 hours. Now, in a month period, there are roughly 730 hours, which means that so far Probzz has spent 62% of his time online streaming. To put this into even more perspective as to why this is a little bit worrying, we are recommended to sleep for 8 hours a day, which accounts for roughly 33% of our time. Now, if you add that on top of how much he's been streaming, that would leave him about 5% for any free time or leisure activities that he can do for himself. But we also know that he's making YouTube videos every week on top of this, so it's likely that this isn't the case. And this isn't a new thing either. Over the past 3 months, for example, he has streamed 1,423 hours. Over a 3-month period, there are roughly 2,190 hours, which means that he has been live for 65% of his time over the past few months. Which, along with the clips of him seemingly spaced out and the fact that he is just banning people randomly from his chat on a regular basis, has led people to start to worry for his well-being and what's going on behind the scenes. So why is this happening? Why is he streaming so much, and why is he randomly banning people from his chat? Well, to be honest, there are many theories, ranging from him just having some poor mental health and trying to avoid acknowledging it in his personal life, to him feeling pressured by those who donate a lot of money to his stream to continuously stream for longer hours. And fueling that theory in particular, there are some of his older viewers who have stated that some of these bigger donators would use the TTS, which is text-to-speech, is basically the thing that plays when somebody donates bits or just money to a streamer. They would use that TTS to guilt trip him into streaming for longer and longer and longer each time. There are also a few particularly outlandish claims, such as his stream is now being used for money laundering, which, you know, sure. But to be honest, the truth is, no one knows. And while we can have our theories as to what's going on, and we can make our claims, we can never say for definite what is actually happening behind the scenes. The only person who knows what is really going on is Probzz himself. And that's why this video is not here to establish a cause. I'm not here to say that this theory has the most merit or that theory actually may be the truth. Because, like everybody else, I can't be sure. So, why am I making this video? Well, there are two reasons. The first is to call for everybody, whether you are a fan of Probzz or not, to treat the situation with kindness. While we don't fully know what's happening, we do know that this is not an opportunity to go into his chat and try to intentionally antagonize him in an effort to get banned so that you can then post a screenshot on Twitter for a few likes. I've seen people speedrunning, getting banned from his chat, or going in and putting things like, wow, it's quiet in here, or I was your killer, things that you know will annoy him in an attempt to get banned. And none of that is helpful, to be honest, so just knock it off. The second is to call for anyone who has a direct line of contact with him, perhaps some of the bigger streamers who have collaborated with him in the past, to reach out and check if he's okay. At the moment, he doesn't seem to respond well if people come into his chat and ask him if he's okay, which, to be fair, is understandable because maybe you don't want to talk about it on a public forum in front of hundreds of people. So if anyone does have a way to reach out to him, and I don't want to mention anyone specifically because nobody should have that pressure put onto them, but if there is anyone who is willing to and can do it privately, please go and check on him and just make sure he's all good and that he is doing okay. Also, I think this is a good time to say that it is okay as a content creator to take a break. I think a lot of us, whether you're a streamer or a YouTuber, you're often pushed into this idea that more is better. More time online means more followers and more subscribers. More videos put out on YouTube means more subscribers, more money, more success, essentially. And to be honest, this is not always the case. Now, I'm not trying to say that Probzz himself is like producing low content because he's streaming so much. That's not for me to say. But what I will say is that quantity does not necessarily always meet quality. Sometimes it's better to take some time to focus on 2 videos a week and making them the best that they can be rather than uploading 6 videos a week on YouTube. Or focus on making 2 streams absolutely engaging and hilarious rather than streaming every single day in a week and doing the same thing each and every day. I think it's far too common for streamers and creators to be pressured or feel pressured into constantly being online, constantly being available to their audience and producing as much content as they physically are able to. And it just always leads to a lack of a work-life balance and a lack of a healthy lifestyle, essentially. So please remember that it is okay to take a break. And to be honest, I want to extend that past content creators. No matter what you do in life, it is okay to take some time for yourself to relax, to recuperate, to do a hobby, and to make sure that you are healthy and that you are putting yourself first. I think it's really important to reiterate that as often as possible so that people don't fall into that trap that we see far, far, far too often, to be honest. And that brings us to the end of this video. Now, please do feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments if you do have any insight on this. But like I said, please treat this with kindness. And if you are somebody who supports Probzz and you're in his stream, please don't do anything to try and annoy him. Stop trying to get banned in his chat. All right. There was maybe a point of that a few months ago to kind of, prove that people were getting banned for ridiculous reasons, but we all get it now. So the best thing that we can do is just to treat him with kindness, treat the situation with kindness, and make sure that we are there for him after this is all over. Because one of the most prevalent things that I've noticed while I was looking through these screenshots of people who had been banned from his chat was that they rarely came from a place of malice. You know, people weren't necessarily pissed off that they'd gotten banned or wanted Probzz to suffer as a creator because of it. They were genuinely just sad. You know, this was somebody who they supported, who they looked up to, who was helping them get better in Dead by Daylight, and they feel like they have done something to annoy him, and they're upset that they can't participate in his community in the same way that they used to be able to. I think the majority of people just want to see Probzz come out of this on the other side happier, healthier, and stronger. So yeah, just remain kind, treat this all with kindness, and make sure you are taking care of yourself as well at all times. But thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. And thank you for supporting the channel as usual. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.
So let me break it all down for you. I ain't never giving up, I ain't never, you know I'm taking that crown from you.